Louisville Motor Speedway was the site of some more wild pony rides. The 40 Crush car sitting smack dab in the middle of the figure 8 track would present a pretty rough trail, as evidenced first by Thunder Chicken. Driver Kid Rarick has reason to squawk. Watch as he gets zapped in the cockpit on this landing, courtesy of those rocket ramps. And following that run, the driver of Star Monster, Chris Tunsley, would also see stars as the Chevy out of Syracuse, New York becomes a bucking Bronco. But the straw that breaks the camel's back, or in this case, one of the back tires of Bennett Clark's Clydesdale, would take place shortly after that. Watch as the big Chevy in the near lane lands on the junk cars and completely snaps the entire housing on the right rear tire. This pony's ride on the rough terrain of the Louisville Motor Speedway would end up with the Clydesdale looking for a new hoof. And whoa, Kemosabe! This wasn't the only wild ride Jack Brady would take in his Jeep Cherokee at the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds. Earlier, the Pennsylvania native would nose his truck's front end in between the gap of cars, creating this wheel stand and causing the Kemosabe to break the rear steering. Steering clear of disaster, however, was Jesse Berge. Watch as Playing for Keeps in the near lane holds on for dear life in Bowling Green, Ohio. And now for a bad piece of driving. We head across the state to Canfield, Ohio, where Taurus has taken an easy victory, but his opponent Goliath demonstrates why you never turn your back on a monster truck. End over end. Not exactly the textbook way of making it over the cars. In one of those weird instances when going too slow may have caused the wreck, Tura, with not enough momentum to get over the cars, gets caught in the gap, causing his back end to buck him completely over. Tura would pick up the pieces of his broken luck and be back to race again another day. But for now, his world had been turned upside down, and when they righted this monster truck, it looked more like a junk car.
You have any idea what caused it to go over like that? It didn't look like the speed was there. I would never thought the truck would have gone over like that.
Well, I didn't quite have the speed, so what happened, I think I dropped the back tires in that little rut, and it like ricocheted me. It bucked me right over, and I didn't get on the throttle quick enough. And once I knew I was standing straight on end, because all I did was just hold on. And I said, I'm going over. I said to myself, to just hold on for the ride.
But perhaps the wildest altercation ever seen in monster truck racing took place one 4th of July in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But before the fireworks, a word about the truck that would soon turn into a Roman candle. King Kong, the creation of Jeff Dane out of Killeen, Texas, with Steve Kane at the helm, had just made a dramatic turnaround in the sport. One of the original monster trucks was showing he could still play with the newer racing trucks. Coming off an impressive win in Bowling Green, Ohio, you had the feeling the old Ford had found new life. But as the sun was setting on the South Carolina coast, King Kong was about to go out in a blaze of glory, because what happened next was not only the most spectacular crash in the history of monster truck racing, but perhaps the fulfillment of a fantasy for anyone who's ever received a speeding ticket. Two unsuspecting police officers had parked their squad cars down at the end of the track when Steve Kane went for the ride of his life. Kane was able to climb out of the back of the truck unscathed, but definitely shaken as he talked to Army Armstrong.
When I come over that second set of cars, it got really squirrely on me, and it looked to me like I was going to hit that wall, so I was trying to compensate for it when I was, before I hit the ground, turn the wheel a little bit. And I think I turned the wheel just a little bit too much, and, when she hit the ground, that front end really hooked up, and it looked to me like when you turn the wheel, the right front hit the ground, but at that time, the left front wheel was up on the rail. Is that what could have thrown you over this thing? When you got the left wheel onto the rail, it looked like you're really in trouble. Yeah, I think that's, I really don't know. Everything was happening so fast, I'd have to look at the video, but I'd say that'd be about right. That front tire hit that rail and everything. Well, we've been talking in the sport about how you drivers have to do something that's almost unnatural. That is, when you get in trouble,
You have to gas the engine. That's exactly what you did. I cannot think of anything you could have done different to get out of that situation.
Well, I don't know. You know, I seen that sign coming up, and all I was trying to do was get it turned back over on its wheels, but nothing worked, you know.
Sadly, that would be the last roar for King Kong. So the next time you get a parking ticket, take a minute and remember this old Ford. Your citation is nothing compared to the accident report this police officer had to fill out. As we've just seen, monster truck racing lies somewhere between child's play and massive destruction. So as we leave you, here's a reminder of the kid in all of us, and a salute to those who never gave up playing with trucks.